You know what, guys? If anything, this story of Alien Spitzer, except the fact that, of course, he was a douchebag like a lot of people think, should teach you other lessons too. First of all, that guy Elliot Rodgers, um, he was basically, he was like, oh, everybody gets pussy and I don't, so I need to kill everybody. Compared to whom? There are people who do, there are people who don't. Because I know people and they are normal people that don't have autism or anything. 30-year-old virgin because they're Christian. No sex before marriage, they believe in that, so they don't do it. Then there are, people who, like, of course, cannot do it because they don't have social skills. Then there are people who started early, but then in the later in life, they don't have as much. Then there are people who lose their virginity age of 28, and then they have plenty of sex after that. So there is just a lot of things goes into that. Of course, the earlier the better, because you get it out of your system, you know how it is. But that's the thing. Expectation creates frustration, and hell, this is others. So two things: don't expect too much, and don't look at the others. That story made me remember one story back in Russia in high school or middle school even. I was also the same way. I was like, oh, I want blonde, beautiful woman. I didn't care about blue eyes, but I wanted blonde, beautiful woman. Because there's a stereotype that blonde women are more beautiful. So, even though I fell in love with brunette, but mostly blonde. See here in America, mostly black. So, but before it was blonde woman, because in Russia you have the same thing. That people think that blonde women are more attractive. So, and one of my classmates, he basically told me, look at yourself. Look how dark you are. Think you're gonna go out with a blonde woman? I remember him telling that to me when I was in middle school. And I remember that guy, he was very religiously Jewish. So, with the other guy, I remember who's my friend, and he was Jewish, but his dad was Jewish, his mom was not. He was telling him that he's half blood and making fun of him because of that. Because, you're Jewish if your mom is Jewish. But with me, that guy was telling me a lot of stories about that Menachem and Schneerson was talking to him for like an hour or two about Judaism. And I was kind of getting bored. I didn't even like it, but he was telling me all of that. And I just, I was too nice and I didn't want to hang up on him. But I was not saying anything. He was just basically giving me lectures about Judaism. So, like my mom said, there is Jewish wisdom. Look at those who are worse off than you are. So this is what Elliot Rodger should look off. Look at the people who don't have money. Look at the people who have sex at the older age. Look at all these brainwashed, crude-minded Christians who don't believe in sex before marriage. And of course they have a point in a way. I maybe shouldn't say that, but still. I get it, If most of the people have sex as a teenagers, you want to be like most of the people. You want to be on top rather than the bottom. I feel the same way. I also was feeling the same way that, if you have sex at a younger age, you're better off. But everybody have different paths. And like I said, you may have it young, but then you may not get nothing. Or you may have it until older age, but then have more. So, everybody is just different, unfortunately. So that's the truth. And besides, killing yourself and killing people is not going to change anything. One Russian musician said, kill kill yourself, you're not going to change anything. I need to pause that song so you guys will be familiar with Russian music, which is more intellectual. Because American music, in my opinion, it's all about sex, TV, money, and pussy. That's what you see with what you get. If you want to be more like smarter and things like that, you gotta listen to classical music or Russian music. So I'm gonna teach you people the good music. So that's gonna be my next step. Because music which gets you to degradation path in your life, you don't need that shit. You do not need degradation. So that's kind of thing. And I think that actually that's another thing. It's another problem that all this music, all TV, all of that stuff which promote things, that stuff basically lead the individual like Elliot Rodgers to do things like they do. Because he thinks, oh, this blonde woman getting pussy gets you everything, money, everything. I was the same way too, When I was in Russia, I also watched TV and I thought the same way. But only if people would be programmed differently, only if mainstream media would give you something, different, tell you like it is. Instead of giving all this propaganda of sex or gay people or whatever, then you would be just a different person. See, that just when you're a kid, you watch that shit and you think that, sex is the most important thing in life. And then you're weird, you don't get it, you get frustrated because, oh, everybody have it and I don't. I've been through it too, so. But it is what it is. So that's the thing. It's not only just that guy and having Asperger's, it's also the media which promotes such kind of things. And the brain just reacts. So you can't just say it Elliot Rodgers. It's also the other thing which he sees and he gets pissed and he gets upset and he just reacts that way. So it's not just him, it's just what he sees. And of course there are people who have sex young and the younger age and they have more, but you just have to accept who you are. And if you cannot deal with it, kill yourself is okay. But if he would be smarter, that guy Elliot Rodgers, he wouldn't have to kill himself and other people. He would just go to Nevada and pay for sex. Problem solved. All the best to you guys. Peace out. Later.